What's up, everybody? Jason with Heap of Jeep. You know, I start these videos pretty quickly, but I never ask for you to subscribe or click the like button or share the videos or anything like that, so please do. I'd love to grow this channel. But anyways, here we go. Back onto the installation of the Jeep engine. Tell you what, it would be great if you had the time to do this all in one step, because I'm doing it, you know, a couple hours every morning before I go to work. Yesterday I'm at work and I'm thinking to myself, did I put that flywheel in right? Did I put that clutch plate in backwards? Did I put Loctite on all the bolts? And I had to go back and review the video that I took, all the raw footage, to make sure that I put the clutch plate in the right direction and all that stuff. Because your mind starts going and you're thinking, oh, I screwed something up. Anyways, so today, starter, flywheel cover, or whatever this thing is called. And if you'll recall, when I took it off, it wouldn't come off. The starter wouldn't come out without taking the inspection plate off. Here we go. I'm going to crawl underneath and do that, so you're not going to see that. But then we'll get on to the intake and exhaust manifold and see what we can get done before I've got to go to work and start second guessing myself again. All right, starter's on. Just hooked it up real quick. Wasn't a big deal. All right. New exhaust manifold to replace the old exhaust manifold. Comes with this heat shield. Everything I've seen online says that the intake manifold is impossible to get on with this heat shield in place. On this one, there's just a couple of bolts that hold it on. Here's what I'm not real happy with. The gasket that came with this is much like the Felpro. I have a Felpro one that I bought that I hadn't thrown on yet, but they're the aluminum backing, and that's the kind I like to use. This is the one that came with the new engine. It's got those screens on the intake. It says, the directions say, if I don't use this, if something gets in there, if I need to turn it back in for a warranty issue, and I don't use this, and it's caused by something getting through the intake, they're not going to cover it. I have to use this one. How are they going to know? They're probably going to want me to send this back with the engine, should I ever have to send it back. So, I don't want to be in that boat. I'm going to throw this one on for now. I've got 3 years, 36,000 miles. If it doesn't look like anything's happening, and I don't like this gasket, if it starts leaking or whatever, or the performance is just horrible because of those screens, then I'll throw on a better one. Another problem with this particular gasket, the Felpros and the ones with the metal on the one side and the composite on the other, specifically say which direction to put it, and it's usually the metal towards the manifold. This one only has these rings on one side, not so much on the other side. It's composite in most places. Since the metal on the Felpro goes towards the out, there's more metal showing on this side, so I'm going to do this side out, but I have no idea if that's correct. So I may be pulling this off sooner than later. Who the heck knows? So remember the cupped washers I had to keep from the old one. Flat washers will not work. Well, I can tell you I'm going to have to do some modifications. This might be why the aftermarket exhaust manifolds are having problems. You can see how thick that is compared to how thick the intake manifold is, and you can see this washer is sitting at an angle. They're not tight yet, I haven't torqued them down, but I can tell you, no matter how tight I get it, that intake manifold's always going to be a little bit loose because of that. So I got to take a grinder and just grind a little bit of that off right on the edge until it's even, and it's like that on both sides. So got to get back there, and I got to get over here. To do this job right, you really want to find some calipers and measure the thickness of the old one and match the new one to it. I can't find my calipers. They're stuck in this mess somewhere. Yeah, I'm a messy mechanic. So I'm doing the poor man's calipers, which is this adjustable wrench. As long as I don't move that, I can match up the new one. Alright, let's try this again. So I went and checked the torque, retorqued them like 4 times, and each time, you know, as things tighten up and get seated against the gasket, you know, I got another couple of degrees before it torqued, except on the outside one. So I would suggest doing that. Just retorque them. I'm going to actually let it sit for a bit, move on to something else, and then come back and check the torques again, because that gasket, that's a really thick gasket they sent. But these washers, I don't know if it's showing on the camera, but grinding that down really worked. They're sitting, I mean, it's almost perfectly flush. So that one back there too, and even those down in there. So here we go. Oh, one other thing. To torque this one down to the correct torque specs, you're going to need a wobble and or something, a swivel, something to get that in there, because that part of the bracket is just in the way. So that's the setup I had to use. Alright, so that's where I'm going to leave it for this video. Already dressed for work, gotta go. But we'll pick it up again on the next video. And I mean, I think I just got to get the fuel rail and that stuff on, put the distributor in, got to prime the oil and all that. and then put all the cooling hoses on and hook up all the sensors. So it sounds like a lot, but it's really, I think there's a chance by the end of the next video we'll have this thing fired up.